is, right? All locked into the gate, ready for the gate drop. Here we go, SuperFinal. Tomac, first one to Chaos Corner, another rocket start for Tomac on that CDR Yamaha supported by Star Racing. And Roxon's in second and closing.
Finally, Roxon got the start that he has needed all night long. He gets the whole shot, but he's in a great position to challenge Tomac for the win in this Super Final.
And Wilson, Dean Wilson, with a tremendous start as well on the 15. He's right there. He sits in third. The rest of the pack charging after him as they go over the big jumps.
Cody Schock, first 250 rider from the MX2 division. He sets in fifth, so a great start for the Rick Ware Racing rider of Cody Schock.
Cloud just in front of him. You can see Roxon fighting to stay with Eli Tomac and manage that pace.
Fighting to stay on the track right there. Had some leg swag going as he was going to jump a little wide. But now this is going to be interesting because Tomac, these last couple of races, he really hasn't gotten challenged. And now Roxon is right there. And you got to think it's been a frustrating night for the reigning champion. Now he's in the position. Let's see what he can do with it. Try to make that move on Tomac, who's dominated.
Roxon picking his line through there. Tomac trying to pull away. Gains a couple of tenths on that lap as the lead grows to just over a second.
Whoa, Roxon getting a little wild. That's what I was talking about in the whoop section. Even though they're jumping through it, it seems like the bike's moving around a lot. Now, Ralph, remember, the JetWorks crew was out there cleaning up the track in spots. So some spots are going to be fresh, and other spots are just going to be wrecked as these rear tires just have chewed this sand up just really dramatically.
Boy, third through fifth is great here with Wilson, Cloud, Schock, and Savachi, and McElrath behind them on the number 12. There's Wilson. Cloud's on the 19. We're right there. You see Schock of the 69. He's fighting with Savachi.
Wilson going wide before that triple jump, trying to find a cushion out there, something to bank off of and turn that Honda.
Roxon has picked up another 10th back after Tomac, so he's closed the gap up by a 10th or two.
Now remember, last couple races, everyone in that finish line turn, they were inside line. There was an inside rut. It hasn't really developed yet. Tomac and Roxon outside after the finish line.
Roxon seems to be maintaining the pace with Tomac, Jeff, and you know Eli is throwing everything at it. Ken's hanging with him. One mistake by Tomac, Roxon will be there to pounce.
Yeah, Tomac trying to be perfect on the night. Oh, look at Savachi working on Cloud. Whoa.
Tomac will not maximize the points here tonight because he did not win the Super Pole and take the 5 out of there. See the yellow flag.
Yellow flag, that was Roxon. There he is.
He's lost contact with Tomac and slipped back into the clutches of Dean Wilson.
Well, and you got to wonder if Roxon was just pushing the Suzuki as hard and as far as it would go.
Wilson right there in third. Wilson on that firepower Honda teamed up with Joey Savachi. Savachi back in fifth. And Roxon now starts to break away from Wilson. Dean had a shot at him, but Ken has found his rhythm again.
Yeah, and look at that. After Roxon went down, 6 seconds back now on Tomac. 4 laps completed of this 12. I mean,
you just can't do that when you're racing like Tomac.
No, not on a night like Tomac's had. I mean, I don't want to play the spoiler, but I don't intend on him making any big mistakes through the end of the night here.
Well, you don't intend on it, but Jeff, with this sand, we've seen numerous riders throughout the course of the night who look like they're in a solid state, but all of a sudden the sand gives way and down they go.
Well, and if you're Eli Tomac, you have to keep your focus. You can't,
get too comfortable,
make a mistake. Plus, probably going to get into a few lap riders somewhere along the line, maybe around lap 8 or 9, 10.
Here's Savachi. Savachi is closing on the 19 of Cloud, trying to get inside of him, coming into this corner. Just can't get there. they're still pushing that limit there, aren't they?
Oh yeah, look how wide Savatgy was going for that triple jump. I mean, that was 20 feet out there just to find a little bit of traction, a little bit of cushion. A couple new lines developing there in that right-hander.
McElrath, the SX2 former champion, sitting in 5th. Halfway home through this one. Oh boy, Shock trying to hang on.
He did. He saved it.
Boy.
McElrath, Shock, Lopes, Thompson.
Cody will put your heart in your throat, won't he?
Oh yeah. He's been trying hard. I mean,
he's given it everything he's got.
He certainly has. And winning that race 1 earlier tonight was a big confidence booster for him. And this is one of those tracks we heard multiple riders talk about where you're trying to push it. This is SuperFinal, trying to lay it all on the line here tonight. And these riders are definitely finding what the limits are on the bike and the traction the tires can give out.
Shock getting pushed here by Lopes on the 16. And there's McElrath pushing Clout.
It's
good battles throughout the field here in this second round of the FIM World Supercross Championship for 2024. And you got 250 and 450 racing here, Jeff. And do you give an edge to the 450 because of the power, or is this the kind of night because of the sand where the 250 might come through?
Well, I mean, the 250 and 450 aren't really that far apart, but certainly, you know, there's no replacement for displacement, right? And you just wonder if the 450 allows you to sort of lug the engine a little bit, get a little more traction. Do you have to wind the 250 up and really get it up in the RPMs, which creates wheel spin? I mean, it's hard to say. It looks like McElrath is making it look easy out there right now, but you can see that off the start, the 450 certainly delivered the horsepower that it took to put the most amount of riders. I think we had our top 4 or 5 off the start, all 450 riders.
This one winding down. Cloud doing a great job of fending off McElrath. It's been a good race so far, Kristen, as McElrath pulls up alongside of Cloud.
It has, Ralph, and this is where the rider conditioning comes into play and the new format. Previously, we'd gone 8, 8, 12, 12. Now, tonight we're 8, 8, 8, and 12, but imagine keeping the longest race till the very end. So you run all 3 8-lap races, and then boom, right when you're good and tired, you hit a 12-lap GP race. Guys, this is when the conditioning comes into play.
I love that about this format here, Jeff, putting that longest race last.
Yeah, and when I was walking back from the track from that feature I did, I walked up the tunnel where the riders were coming into staging. I got to tell you, they all look pretty beat down, and they just had to race 3 8-lap main events, lay it all on the line back to back to back. And I don't blame them. That's a tough way to do it because there's just not a lot of time between the races for your body to recover.
And there's no time to recover, Jeff, because we're right back here at HBF Park again tomorrow for a full round number 3 of FIM World Supercross.
Yeah, and we're going to start a little bit earlier on Sunday than what we did today. Everyone's going to have to be out here maybe 3 or 4 hours earlier than what they had to now, and then they'll come back. Jump Works will rebuild the track, freshen it all back up, and the riders have to go right back out again and do the same format.
But instead of racing in the cool temperatures of the night, it's going to be a little harder in the late afternoon. Yeah,
and it's supposed to be really hot tomorrow.
Yes, that'll be a big part of the story for sure. You're not going to want to miss it. Tune in to catch all the action live. Wilson, team's been having a really good run here, Jeff, sitting in 3rd throughout this entire race with 2 laps to go, if he can keep his teammate Savatgy behind him. And they've had some coming togethers and some good battles.
Oh yeah, I mean, talking about those temperatures, the high was about 85 today, going to be 95, which is basically 35 in Celsius, so tomorrow is going to be cooking. And remember, the track is going to dry out a lot more because it's hot.
Savatgy was right up alongside. You see the rear wheel pick up on Wilson under the brakes. Savatgy trying to work the outside, cuts back inside on Tino. Who's going to get to the corner first?
Let's see which line works.
Split line. Wilson goes wide. Oh, they almost come together again as we go now to the final lap here, the SuperFinal at the Australian Grand Prix.
Teammates going at it. Wilson trying to hang on to this third. Trying to make the podium here in the SuperFinal. Savachi, who was your Super Pole winner, he was super fast all day long. He's got about half a lap to go to try to get that third spot.
Does Wilson have the speed and the endurance to keep Savachi behind him for another half a lap?
Savachi's working hard.
He's pushing. You saw that bright yellow boot come off the peg for a second. Meanwhile, Eli Tomac has won everything so far but Super Pole, and he wins the SuperFinal as well here at the Australian Grand Prix. Ken Roxon comes across the line for second. Will it be Wilson or Savachi? Here's Dean Wilson on the 15, Savachi on the 17, racing to the finish line jump. Final corner, Wilson will get there first in front of Savachi to take third away from his teammate.
They're high-fiving. Wilson did it.